Hello and welcome back, you anybody's and everybody's. Tis I, ATH. So, first off, I wanted to start this video off by thanking Masako X because he sparked my love-hate relationship with Dragon Ball What Ifs. More specifically, the Dragon Ball What Ifs where some random person, it could be Gine, Bardock, Broly, whoever it is, Raditz, they basically play a role in the main story. They're either come to Earth or they become a good guy or whatever. Of course, being a Dragon Ball fan that I am, those type of stories intrigue me to high hope, really. I started off liking them a lot. I really did. Of course, it started with Masako's Raditz series. What if Raditz was good? And for the most part, he was doing well. But just like all things, you find a problem with it. And this just so happens to be a problem that kind of ruins that whole mini genre of fan fiction, I guess you can call it, or what ifisms. So of course Masako isn't the only one who makes these type of videos. I've watched plenty on the internet because they still, even to this day, intrigue me. There's no running away from that. What if this happened? What if that happened in Dragon Ball? And I would love to see a really good story written where Goku can have his mom and dad present, or they bring back Raditz, or they bring back Nappa, or whatever. That stuff sounds incredibly interesting, but the only problem is, which I also found in a lot of Masako's what ifs, is the power scaling. After a while, the story becomes less interesting because of not just Masako's stories and the other what ifs. After a while, these characters become too strong. They typically go down the route of, at least in the what ifs, where someone is there with Goku from the very beginning when he was a child. He becomes stronger than he would in the normal timeline. So all of the fights that he ended up going through, he kind of dominates. I remember listening to, I forgot, it could have been Masako, but it could have been somebody else. Basically, the what if was, what if Goku was a girl? Which, those ones specifically interest me a lot because what if these characters were females? How would they be written? Granted, the whole topic of should you write women characters different than you should male characters is up in the air. Of course, they would have their differences, but of course, those stories always end with Goku being with Vegeta, which I don't have time for that. I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but I kind of do. But in that specific what if, all it did was have the Z fighters become stronger. The female Goku just had a heavier tendency on teamwork. So Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, Piccolo, and all of them actually were stronger by the time the Saiyan saga even happened. Stronger than the norm. I don't really see how people can write that. These what ifs have so much space to work with, but yet I feel they get trapped within the same, well, if this person was here, then this person will be stronger. The only problem is I really wish they would go more into a narrative base. How would this change this person's mentality? Would they become softer? It doesn't always have to end up with someone just being stronger. Because by the Frieza saga, I pretty much bow out of most of these what ifs, because the Frieza saga is the biggest point. This is where Frieza is completely stronger than most all people. The only person who could actually fight that fight is a Super Saiyan Goku. But yet, if you make everybody stronger, then they end up clapping the Ginyu Force, who was supposed to be the bigger challenge at the time, before Frieza stepped up, then it's not as fun. It's like, if I remember correctly, the what if Gine was there. Apparently, if I remember correctly, it's either Gine and Goku both end up having Kaioken, or I think that was it. Or they was both fighting. They were both training in the spaceship that Goku came to Namek on. So both Gine and Goku are just clapping people, which Goku did clap people in the original. But it's just like, by the time he got to the Frieza fight, I was kind of out of it, because it was just like, this is starting to bore me. A lot of them start to bore me after a while, only because it's more or so focused around how strong this person is now. I mean, some, like the Masako Raditz series, basically sorta wrote out Vegeta as a character, as one of the main characters. He ended up becoming a rival to Raditz, and I understand it could come off as though me not liking change. I just don't feel like the narrative made much sense, because there's a lot of like twisting and finagling that some of these people have to do with certain people's characters to make it work. Because in that Raditz story, it just ended up becoming, rather than Goku and Vegeta having the dynamic of low class Saiyan versus ultra powerful Prince of all Saiyans, I'm a high class Saiyan Kakarot thing, it ended up being that with Vegeta and Raditz, rather than Goku and Vegeta, which basically made Goku's character not relevant at all. And I think that's a huge problem. I kind of had to like get this off my chest, because like the what ifs have so much potential. They really do. But I feel like the execution isn't there yet. And I don't know. It's just too much. I'm kind of tired of seeing just people get stronger. Like, I understand. I mean, that's a huge problem that people will have with the original Dragon Ball. There's no substance. But remember, these people are like these are the fans creating it. If you had a problem with parts of Dragon Ball, you would be able to fix it. Like, if you didn't like how Dragon Ball is narratively structured, and these what ifs, I would, to a certain extent, expect you to flex your writing muscles, which they do. Don't get me wrong. The Masako what ifs are good. He has a lot of good ideas, like the Raditz thing that really pushed me over the top. That really was like, this is a great idea. Was giving Vegeta Super Saiyan 4. I hate that they just wrote Super Saiyan 4. I know it wasn't canon, but Super Saiyan 4 was a good progression for the Saiyans. And I think overall that was just greatness. And Masako brought that back. So it's a whole bunch of good ideas with just bad story beat executions. So, with that being said, I'm out. Go watch more what ifs. Actually, read Dragon Ball manga, fan mangas. Those are incredible. Those are really hype. So, keep making what ifs, but I don't know, like, try some different stuff out. But yeah, it's AGH. That being said, I'm out. Bye.